Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
A pallet of cards stolen at Gen Con are finally recovered. Most game developers are upset with Unity, and Studio Ghibli releases a film after 10 years in development. That's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Casters Guild. I am your guild master, Rick Perry, a.k.a. Peanut Butter and Bearded.
And I'm your guild master, Baron Kane. I don't really see where this one's going. But that's the theme of Baron Kane. Not a clue where this is going next.
Look, we've been doing this for 4 years, over 100 episodes. They're not all going to be winners. I've introduced myself as a different thing every time. They're not all going to be winners.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm just, honestly, how you come up with all these different things at the drop of a hat, I'm jelly.
Well, there we go.
Yeah! Hell of a build-up, wasn't it? That was a hell of a build-up, yeah.
Look, okay. I didn't know what we were going to talk about first today, but seeing
there's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk. Let's just go ahead and end it. Let's go ahead and end tonight's podcast. Have a good one, everybody.
Speaking of a hell of a build-up, we finally have resolution on a story we were talking about a while ago. IMPD has recovered $3,000 worth of stolen gaming cards. So, Indianapolis Metro PD, as you know, at Gen Con, $3,000 worth of Magic cards were stolen as a dude just walked out with a whole ass pallet.
I had nothing to do with it.
So, I'm going to read this right from their local news station here. In a previous post on social media, the department said detectives had been in contact with the attorneys of the two people of interest.
Okay.
According to IMPD, the two persons of interest in the theft acquired a pallet jack and removed one pallet of Magic the Gathering gaming cards. The theft allegedly occurred August 1st, before the opening of the day's events at Gen Con at the Indiana Convention Center. The men allegedly took the gaming cards to an unknown location. So that's where we were, honestly, last time we talked about this particular story. Then, basically, IMPD reached out across social media and asked for help in identifying these two guys. They found out who these two guys were. Basically, a bunch of people posted pictures of these guys at the convention, and we're like, yep, it's these two. Like, there are a bunch of pictures of them with other people, them at other booths, them playing games, as well as them leaving with the pallet jack. And later on, they actually got a cart, not just a pallet jack. Like, they started with the pallet jack and then moved the boxes off the pallet jack onto a cart and pulled the cart out. And yeah, they eventually, because of all of the people telling them who they were, they've been able to recover the cards through their lawyers. And I don't know what they're going to be charged with, if they're going to be charged, what's going on with the case or anything like that. But basically, they got in contact with these guys, the lawyers contacted them back, and they got the cards back.
And then, just to clarify, because I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, but I want to make sure that we verify again. The cards were stolen from a friendly local gaming store, correct?
Yes.
This wasn't like the Wizards booth.
No, it was a very large FLGS. But yes, it was an FLGS.
It's still a FLGS.
It was a large enough FLGS that they had a bunch of... The biggest reason they were concerned about the card theft was they were going to be using a lot of the cards as like prizes and as draft box for events that they were going to have that day. And they were able to still have their events after having $300,000 worth of cards stolen. So, I mean... They're not some little company, but yeah, I mean, it's still not, we're still not talking about Wizards, so like these guys are still dicks.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, the way I'm looking at it is, which I guess actually begs the question, where's the line of where I care and I don't care?
Calling the Pinkertons? I mean,
Oh, no. That crosses the line back into caring. So there's like, I don't care, or it's I care very much because I feel like there's someone being exploited and they just don't have the funds to be able to take care of themselves or trying to feed their family. Going up into, I don't really care because you're a big corporation, you can afford this, your big execs are getting paid millions of dollars a year, I don't care. And then it goes back into caring again when these companies are actively doing stuff to fuck over the little guy again. Not that they're not already doing that,
right?
But you know what I mean? Like the Pinkertons, for example.
Like when they're taking it to a whole new level of douchebaggery. Like it's one of those things where there's a difference between having more money than God, which is already like a line you shouldn't cross, and then there's having more money than God, and then using that money to chase one little guy who opened one box of cards too early.
Right. Agreed.
I think, I don't know, finding that line is difficult because I don't think there's a number for that line. I think it just comes down to how well you're treating your employees and how well you're treating your clientele. Because while I don't know of a huge corporation that is doing it, if there were some huge corporation that was doing really well, but then putting that money back into its people, like, if it was all the stock was owned by the employees, or, they were, the CEO isn't making thousands of times more than their lowest paid employee, then they can get as big as they want. And I'm still going to be like, hey, yeah, good for those guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad those guys pretty much got caught. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up getting charged. That's a lot of fucking money worth of merchandise.
It's funny that we, talked about it on here and we had a distinct follow-up to this whole thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right, though. They're going to get charged. There's no way they won't. They have, exclusive video of them doing the deed, so...
Like, it's pretty... With all the overwhelming evidence that has been put forth between the videos and then the pictures provided by all the people who were at the convention, like, the amount of evidence that there is staggering.
Yeah.
All right, as long as we're doing callbacks, let's talk about the strike some more, because why the fuck not? First of all, there's an update to the SAG AFTRA strike, including video games and video game companies.
Right.
It has pretty much been unanimously decided that it's going to be put to a vote whether or not they will be striking video games. And that vote will be taking place later this month.
It sucks how long these things kind of take.
Right.
But, whatever. I mean, I realize that snap decisions can't be made. I realize that this is, essentially a democracy kind of situation, and they need the votes of all the people.
Right. And honestly, it's better than it's handled that way than just like a couple people being like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And that's not the only thing moving forward with the strike. Before I go into the next segment, I think I'll let you lead this one off, Baron, because you're the one who informed me of it.
The VFX, I think it's just Marvel exclusively, like, which is kind of confusing because it's like, I don't know why, like, all the Disney VFX people didn't kind of band together for this. Anyways, but yeah, the VFX people are now looking to unionize, which is great because as far as I know, the VFX people are the ones getting hit the worst in Marvel.
Yeah, especially when it comes to AI and everything like that. I'm sure not a single VFX guy got paid for that Secret Invasion intro.
Not just that. A lot of the production that happens in Marvel movies is, and this is kind of why the shows and the movies are the way they are. They'll get action scenes that they want to see in the movie, and then they'll build the movie around those action scenes.
Right.
And then as soon as they get those action scenes down, like, this is what we want to do, the VFX people get to work.
Right.
So, and they keep them working at breakneck hours and just burning themselves to death getting this done.
Which might be why the Marvel VFX artists were so ready to unionize versus all of the VFX artists, just because they're being worked so hard versus all the other VFX artists.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is a notoriously well-known thing with everybody in the industry and just anybody really following Marvel movies and stuff like that. Honestly, it's another one of those kind of like guilty feelings that I have. Like, but it's like living in a capitalist society. There is no way that we can ethically consume anything.
Yeah, no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Right. So, you kind of have to pair your guilt with your consumption. And I always felt guilty after finding out about the VFX conditions, watching Marvel stuff. I mean, I kept watching.
Right.
So, but I mean, I guess it was always under the assumption that, with the more money they make, the better things will become. But, the real world then kind of steps in and lets you know that you're stupid for having hope and that you should probably stop. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully every one of these things that gets added to this strike. It started as a writer strike, then the actor strike, now they're striking video games, now VFX workers are starting to strike. Everything that gets added just slows down this industry more and more, and eventually something's going to have to break.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, keep adding yourselves to this strike. Keep getting more and more people added to the strike. Add more and more arms to the strike. Wait them out, and get paid. Get proper working hours. Make them hire more people so they can get done what they need to get done in the correct amount of working hours for the correct amount of money.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think the more people who add on this strike is just going to add pressure because, before, these VFX people could keep working on these movies. They could just keep working on these movies, and it's not scabbing. It's not anything like that, which, whatever. You're getting a paycheck. Please get your paycheck.
Right.
But, they can still be just forced to work through these grueling conditions, even though everybody else is striking. I think the only thing that I wish would happen more with these strikes is I wish that we had more solidarity between the people who are doing these strikes. So, like the writer's strike was happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
All well and good. I didn't hear very many actors at all voicing their support or, going down there. There was... There was a couple people that went down there. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who it was, though. He went down there with it was Jay Leno. He went down there with half a box of donuts. But, I mean, he didn't have to go down there. So,
right.
I mean, I guess, thinking of it after the fact, it's before we were making fun of him for going down there with a half a box of donuts, but now it's hey, at least he was fucking down there.
Right.
But then, all of a sudden, the actors are striking, and then it's oh, yeah, it's we've been here the whole time supporting the writers, and blah, 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 blah. It's guys, you should have been there from the jump.
Right.
It's these guys are why you're working. You didn't write this shit. You're just reading what they said.
I think the big thing, and this doesn't justify anything, but I think the big thing behind them not being there from the beginning is, one, they had already signed a bunch of contracts to act in these things that had already been written, and they still have to fulfill those contracts, strike or no.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that they should have walked off the job. That's not what I'm saying.
And then second, as we see how slow moving this decision to add video games into striking is, I mean, they could have been working on organizing a strike from the very beginning, but they have to vote whether or not they have to elect whether or not they're going to vote on it, and then they have to vote on it, and that's all well and good, but that doesn't stop people from being vocally supportive of things. That's true. That's very true.
So, and I that's the thing that kills me the most. I'm not even sure. I think Ron Perlman may have been down there before the actors' strike happened.
It wouldn't.
I think I saw him down there. But you're right. It wouldn't surprise me either, that 70-something-year-old man.
Dude is so ready to throw the first Molotov, I swear to God.
Oh, yeah. He's ready. He's camped outside of someone's house right now. I know it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to see more solidarity before the fact. I mean, I'm glad that they struck, but then when they struck, they didn't make it seem like they were doing it out of solidarity. They were doing it for their own concerns.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like when they came out, it wasn't about, hey, the actors need, or the writers need, better conditions. They need to be paid better. It was, we're actors and we need to get paid better and we need a cut of, and it's like, yes, you do. But
I mean, we're just as guilty of it as every other media outlet. I mean,
nope,
everybody's calling it the SAG AFTRA strike now.
Nope, not me. Not me. And I'll tell you why.
I'm
I'll tell you why
guilty
it's
of
not
it
me.
because I'm reading headlines and all the headlines say the SAG AFTRA strike. But yeah, it should be the WGA SAG AFTRA strike, if anything.
I'll tell you why I'm not guilty of this. Because I constantly forget that the actors joined the strike. Mm-hmm. So in my head, it's always still just the writers.
The writers
and
strike.
then I remember the actors are there, but it's already after I called it the writers' strikes. So
right.
So yeah, no sense of superiority here. I just forgot.
No, I definitely am guilty of it because I'm reading these headlines like, VFX artists join the SAG AFTRA strike. SAG AFTRA is voting to add video games to the strike. Everybody's always talking about it as the SAG AFTRA strike, and it's like it should be the WGA SAG AFTRA strike. Yeah. Even reading articles on this VFX artist edition,
you know what?
It starts with, like, in the headline it's the SAG AFTRA strike, but later on in the article it talks about how writers and actors from both the WGA and SAG AFTRA are joining in with the VFX artists. So
I'm realizing something too. Mm-hmm. As you were reading that, I had to evaluate some of the feelings that were going through my body, and I'm realizing that I have a huge bias against actors.
Okay.
And I'll tell, and the actors that I have a huge bias against are the ones that are getting all the face time, the ones that are making millions of dollars per, but it's like, there are actors out there who do work essentially paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. They live in LA. If they get paid $30,000 for one movie, they're good for a couple months.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And even worse, I'm hearing about how, like, they're working on these movies and then not getting paid until months or sometimes years after. They're supposed to get paid. It's like agreed in writing, you'll get paid by this date, and then it gets pushed out and pushed out and pushed out, and then they don't get paid anywhere close to what they thought they were going to get paid because they're like, oh yeah, we agreed on this rate, but then so-and-so gets this piece, so-and-so gets this piece, or whatever. And while, you want to say, what are you millionaire actors out here doing, at least they're also on strike, and if anything in solidarity with their actors and writers, brothers and sisters.
This goes into my soul searching that I was doing. Obviously I think that what a lot of people forget is if you have a platform and nobody knows who the hell you are, that platform isn't going to get anywhere.
Right.
But if you get some well-known people as the face of your platform, it's going to get a lot further.
Yeah.
So I get it. So even if these bigger actors aren't going to be benefiting from this stuff, I appreciate that they're still there being the voice of this, pushing for their, the actors who are many rungs below them in terms of pay.
Not being a scab like Drew Barrymore.
Oh, fucking... or the American Horror Story crew.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to verify that. I want to see if they got shut down.
For anyone who doesn't know, while Baron looks up the American Horror Story thing, Drew Barrymore does a talk show that kind of masquerades as a news show, almost like Stephen Colbert doing a news show that masquerades as a talk show. But Drew Barrymore's show uses writers. Like, everything she says on her show uses writers. It's not like the Today Show, where she's, reporting news. It's all done by writers. And she just went, oh, no, it's okay. I'm a news show. And decided that she was going to put on her show anyway. And all the writers went, we're literally standing out here on the picket lines. What the fuck are you talking about? So now there are picket lines forming right in front of Drew Barrymore's show as she's filming. So that's fantastic. But yeah, Drew Barrymore. I mean, I had always admired Drew Barrymore. Thought she was really nice and cool as an actress, but she's a fucking scab, apparently.
Via Culture Slate, for Murphy's part, he previously threatened litigation against Warren Late, a former WGA strike captain and co-chair of the Strike Rules Compliance Committee, over Late's claims he made on social media to help drum up support for the strike. The show crew members told him that they would be blackballed in Murphyland if they joined the WGA strike. Murphyland refers to Ryan Murphy, who is the producer and director of the series. And he is not prohibited from being on the set as long as he's not writing. But there is concern, much like, Ryan Reynolds being on the set of Deadpool. There are concerns that he's going to be there writing and changing things. And yeah. But yeah, so apparently I don't know what was going on with Late. I guess he said some shit and he deleted out all the posts and stuff like that. But he got relieved of his WGAE strike duties due to the initial post and its inaccuracy. So he's apparently talking shit, but it's still, as of July 6th and as of deadline, WGA picketers are targeting the American Horror Story set. So yeah, it sounds like there is some he said, she said stuff, but it's still kind of like, you're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I think everybody knows that the quote unquote script isn't done when they start the show.
Yeah.
There are going to be additions.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Kim Kardashian got slammed for being a scab.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Again, don't care. 42-year-old billionaire. Don't care.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that's not one of the ones that changes my opinion of the person.
Mm-hmm.
And might be why she went ahead and scabbed, because she's like, yeah, this isn't going to change anyone's opinion of me. Like, they're like, I have my followers and my worshipers, and they're not going to care that I'm scabbing, and all the people who are going to care that I'm scabbing don't like me anyway. So fuck it.
Yeah. I will have to say that a lot of these, it's really weird how these things are going through. Like, there's picket lines, and I mean, they're expecting people not to cross the picket lines. Yep, that's the way they work. But, these actors who at the time, back in June, I don't believe they were striking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The actors weren't striking. They could still work. But then again, if a place is being picketed, I believe that they're still expected not to cross that picket line. Mm-hmm. Because the drivers, the delivery drivers, especially UPS, they absolutely refused to cross the picket line.
Right.
They had nothing to do with the strike, but they respected the union and their picketing. So they were like, all right, we're driving on. And then there's that one Amazon driver that was honking his approval that I hope they never found.
Right. I haven't seen any more stories about that Amazon driver, so.
Me neither. I hope he still has a job. And if he doesn't, I hope UPS picked him up.
Yeah.
We should just start up a whole drama with this guy.
Just start some rumors.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you want to go stand on that picket line and join them in solidarity, you should do so in style. And you know how you could do that.
I really don't.
You could go to tvillain.com.
I thought you were going to say Geeky Clean.
T-Villain is a t-shirt site where you'll find a killer limited edition shirt being sold for $13 only while supplies last. Every Monday, the site features a new design by a new artist. We would tell you what's featured right now, but by the time you hear this, it's already changed.
They choose the most ingenious designs that reflect everything evil and villainy, as well as works pertaining to anything artistic, pulp style, lowbrow, pop culture, TV, movies, music, video games, comics, etc. All things cool and evil, basically. To check them out and help Casters Guild, click our link in the description.
All right, moving on. Unity did some shit.
Oh, yes. So let me preface this.
Go ahead.
I'm on fucking Tumblr, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'll have you know, this is going to be a little. What am I trying to say? A little bit more information about me than I would normally volunteer on this podcast.
Well, you're already showing your age by saying I was on Tumblr.
Okay, I am on Tumblr, first off. Second off, if you go and find me on Tumblr, don't scroll too far down. You might see things you don't want to see. Anyways. I have it's pretty much strictly a pagan blog, right? I post witchy stuff. I post like Greek mythology stuff, specifically like Dionysus stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, this post comes up that says, if you want to buy Call to the Lamb, you better do it now. I'm like, what? Okay, let's see what's going on here. And then went into the whole Unity thing. I was like, damn. So I guess I got to buy Call to the Lamb.
It's really because
they're removing it. They're deleting the game.
Yeah, I've heard.
Well, they say they are. Hopefully, if Unity maybe backs off on what they did, maybe they'll keep it. But
I doubt Unity will back off because they're a giant fucking company, and why would they do anything to appease
Kim
people?
Kardashian. I think that's going to be my thing. Anytime we talk about a billionaire something or other, it's going to be Kim Kardashian.
She's going to become your nemesis.
She is. Already is.
All right. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Unity is a platform that people can use to make their games and host their games. A lot of people use Unity. A lot of indie games use Unity. And Unity will now be charging 20 cents to the developers per install, not per purchase. So, like, if somebody buys the game, installs it, uninstalls it, then installs it again, that's twice. They're charging 20 cents per install until that game has $200,000 in sales and 200,000 units sold, at which point they'll go to a new model where it's charged like 1 cent to like 1.25 cents per install instead of 20 cents per install.
Oh, okay.
So, I got a couple tweets from game developers here that I'd like to share with you that kind of puts this whole thing in perspective.
Please do.
Mike Blackney, game developer, says...
Oh, Mike, yeah, we go way back.
Make game. Game is freemium. Game makes $200K from in-app purchases after being installed 3 million times. You now owe Unity 20 cents per 2.8 million installs. That's 560K. That's 360K more than you made from your in-app purchases with the game. Innersloth, the developers of Among Us, stated, "We use Unity to make our games. This would harm not only us, but fellow game studios of all budgets and sizes. If this goes through, we delay content and features our players actually want to port our game elsewhere, as others are considering. Many developers won't have the same time or means to do the same. Stop it. What the fuck?" And as you stated, Call to the Lamb tweeted, "Buy Call to the Lamb now, because we're deleting it January 1st.
Yep.
Unity did state that indie game developers that are on Xbox Game Pass would not have to pay the 20 cents per install, that cost would be passed on to Microsoft since it's part of Game Pass. But think about it. That means Microsoft is going to take less chances on indie games that might be good if they have to pay 20 cents per install for a game that they're offering now for free as part of their Xbox Game Pass.
Right. It all sounds rather complicated. My poor little brain is having a hard time keeping up with it.
On top of that, they're now also putting this same restriction on early access games. And any demos that can be upgraded So, like, if you offer a demo of your game that has, like, a button that says upgrade to full version, instead of it being a separate file from the full game,
Yeah.
that means you're getting charged 20 cents every time someone downloads that demo. And 20 cents to anybody who downloads an early access game. Which means less companies will be doing demos because it becomes a liability to have a demo of your game. And less games will be doing early access because it becomes a liability to have early access.
Did they take this past a focus group at all, you think?
I feel like, okay, you ready for my conspiracy theory brain to go off for a minute?
Man, I'm so ready. Hold on, let me get the board.
Okay, so Pepe Silvia. No, okay, but for real.
Kaiser Soze, got it.
We've been talking since the beginning of this season, pretty much, that we might be on the cusp of a new golden era of gaming with the way that Tears of the Kingdom is scaring people, with the way Baldur's Gate 3 is scaring people. And it's bolstering the confidence of a bunch of these indie studios, especially with the way Larian did it, because Nintendo is still one of the big guys. I mean, they made a big, awesome game. Whatever. But Larian comes forward and makes what's clearly the game of the year. Controversial opinion, I know. And a bunch of these indie games get bolstered, and they're like, yes, we can do this. We can take over the gaming industry. We can knock the big guys off their pedestal. And Unity goes 20 cents per fucking install, bitch. Now what are you going to do?
Right.
So it makes it so your game doesn't get around as much because you can't do demos. It makes it so Xbox Game Pass is less likely to pick up these indie games. It makes it so you pretty much can't do a freemium game. Like, if you want to make your game available for free, fuck that. You can't do that because 20 cents per install, where are you going to be making your money back?
Yeah.
I honestly believe this is a move to try to crush indie hopefuls.
Yeah.
Because the big guys, as soon as they sell over 200,000, they're back to their 1 cent instead of 20 cents per install. Why would they give a fuck?
Yeah. Oh my God. Sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid Instagram hears me say Cult of the Lamb one time. God forbid.
Are you getting hit with the ads hardcore?
Yeah, okay, but to be fair, it looks really cool.
It's so
and I've
good.
never heard of this kind of toy.
It's so good.
U2s?
Oh, yeah. The U2 vinyl figures or whatever.
I guess. Yeah, they look really cool. Anyways, yes. I've got it sitting on Steam right now. I'm really, it's like $44.96 for it and 3 DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
And I just got paid today. So
I usually sit down and play it with Guild Officer Tiffany, because it's like there's like 2 halves to the game. There is like the cult management, kind of like almost like farm sim / town sim part. And then you go out into the forest or the dungeon or whatever, which is more of like a roguelike Binding of Isaac kind of deal. So I let her take care of the cult management because I'm not into that. And I go do the roguelike because she doesn't have those twitch reflexes when it comes to those type of games.
Right.
So, like, we sit there and I'm like, okay, you take care of the little cultists and I'm going to go get a shit from the dungeon so you can take care of the cultists.
You know what's funny? If I listen to that as like if I just change certain words and just kind of move it around, I'm like, are you playing Stardew Valley?
I've heard it compared to Stardew Valley before, but like it's I don't think Stardew Valley has the roguelike component as much as Cult of the Lamb does.
I mean,
I know they have their dungeons or whatever, or like but
well, I'll say like they have the dungeons and stuff like that, and it is very roguelike in that you don't die when you go in, but it's like you go in and you can only go so far, and then you have to retreat, get better, go back in, you can go a little further, and then you have to retreat and get better. It's kind of, I mean, it's like the most wholesome roguelike that you're ever gonna get.
Yeah, Cult of the Lamb definitely presents itself as wholesome, but it's not, like, at all. And you can die in the dungeons, absolutely. And you can go as long as you want. It's more of a press your luck type of thing.
Man,
like, do you think you could? Do you think you could go further? Do you think you can survive the next set of rooms to really push forward, or do you want to go back and heal up? But yeah, you can stay in there as long as you can stay alive. It's a really good game, and as long as we can still talk about games, I think anybody listening should go play.
Let's get it all out now.
They should go play Call to the Lamb because it's pretty fucking good.
Yep, like I said, it's right here. I got paid today. It's probably going to go. You can even fish in it. This is Stardew Valley. Oh, you know what? You fish just like you do in Stardew Valley. Actually, it is the same exact fishing mechanic.
There's a lot of similarities. Okay, speaking of stuff that we can and cannot talk about, I'm going to tiptoe around this one for a little while. Okay. Studio Ghibli is obviously not on the list of struck companies.
God, okay? I hope they never are.
They're in Japan. They pay their people well. However, Disney has the distribution rights in the United States.
The sons of bitches.
So, if you were to go see a Ghibli movie in the United States, Disney is getting paid.
Okay,
or if you buy one on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. So, that being said, a new Ghibli movie has been released in Japan and is coming to America in December.
Okay.
I'm not telling you to do anything illegal.
I am.
But yo-ho.
What are they gonna? They can't come at us for telling people to go do these things. I'm telling you. You know what? I'll tell you. And this is the express opinion of, you know what? This is the express opinion of Bradley Kane. Pirate that shit.
So,
do with my Christian name what you will.
Now that I've said all of that, the movie is called The Boy and the Heron. It looks so fucking good. It has been in development for 10 years.
I mean, good. It's like, I hate to say it, but good.
10 years. And it is said that it has strained Studio Ghibli's resources.
Oh.
And up until the premiere of the movie, there was not a single trailer. There are now trailers available for it, and there are trailers in the American market, which apparently Miyazaki is a little upset about.
Okay.
Because he doesn't like trailers for his movies. He wants you to go into his movies kind of blind, which I get.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess.
It looks amazing. He's been working on it for 10 years. He let I don't even remember the name of the movie that came out that was like computer generated that like his kid made, the Earwig and the Witch or something like that.
Heard of it.
He let that movie come out. That way the studio could make some money so he could keep working on this movie. So if you didn't like that one, which I know a lot of Ghibli fans did not like Earwig and the Witch, please see this movie. Please see Boy and the Heron. Just don't give Disney any money to see it.
Yeah, I guess if we were speaking on a more official level, yeah, do what you can to see this movie, but make sure Disney doesn't get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day.
It looks fucking awesome. So there's a new way to see, a new old way to see movies now, Baron. You remember a long time ago, do you remember how Netflix started?
Yeah, I do.
When they would send you DVDs in the mail.
I want to point out that I was in the death throes of Blockbuster. Yeah, I remember.
No, yeah. I'm sure you remember very well then.
Worked at Blockbuster while it was kicking its last breath.
So there is a video rental store that is the biggest video rental store in America.
Okay.
And it has just made the move to online.
Okay.
And you can now rent by mail.
Hot damn.
Where they will mail you DVDs, Blu-rays, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K, a bunch of different things. It is called Scarecrow Video. And you can go to, and they're not a sponsor, I just think this is really fucking cool. You can go to scarecrowvideo.org/rent by mail. And you can sign up for this service. To give you an idea of how big this video rental store is, Netflix's library currently, and this is their worldwide library. You know, some things aren't available in America, some things are. Their worldwide library has a little under 14,000 titles.
Woo!
Scarecrow's library has 145,000 titles. That's more than 10 times more what Netflix offers.
That's crazy. So what kind of you may have already said this. What kind of media is it that they are letting you essentially rent?
Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4K.
Okay. I was really hoping you'd say VHS in there too, because that would be the shit. Not that that's my main form of media, people. Don't come at me. I just really like VHS.
It's not available as their rent by mail, but you can go to their store, and their store offers VHS and Laserdisc.
Hell yeah.
Looking at their website right here, reading this right off their website, the following items are not available for rent by mail. Rare, out-of-print, and irreplaceable videos that require a security deposit. We call these our rental by approval titles. VHS and Laserdisc formats. New release titles, as they have a more limited rental time frame. And adult titles. So all of those
adult titles, you say?
All of those are still available at their store, but not available in their rent by mail.
Gotcha. So by adult titles, you mean like rated R movies?
No, because, rated R movies are absolutely available, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because you have to be an adult to watch those.
Well, you have to be 17.
Is it 17 and up?
I think it's 16, actually.
Did they change it?
I don't know. You know what? We're going to look that up right now.
Maybe we could talk about how weird and arbitrary the rating system is anyways.
It's super weird. 17. R literally stands for restricted under 17.
Okay, so yeah, I want to know where their line was. That had to have been an attempt on the studio's part to try to lobby them down a little further because they knew that they could still get money off of a 17-year-old audience.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder how hard they fought to be like, hey, maybe 15. Maybe 15 will be good for a rated R movie.
I think it was more about just placing a distinction between R and X.
Like, I mean, there's
R being 17 and up and X being 18 and up. Like,
yes, what a silly line to draw, though.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. I could see some really fucking hot sex scenes in this movie and it be rated R, but God forbid they say fuck more than 5 times or it's an X-rated title. What?
Yeah, I mean, like, it just goes to show you how afraid of sex the American culture is, to where as soon as there's penetration...
Oh, yeah. No, I've always said, I think it's silly that we as a country will look at a piece of media, and as soon as anything sexual happens, it's, oh my gosh, cover your eyes, you know, what am I trying to say? Hold on. You know, watch out for the children. Don't let them see this. La, 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 la. You know, and I'm not saying plop your kid down in front of a sex scene. By all means, don't do that.
Yeah.
But then they'll be the first ones to take their kid to, you know what? Perfect example. They'll take their kid to Deadpool. The first Deadpool movie. Okay? What scenes do you think parents covered their kids' eyes up?
We all know what happened. I mean, like, yeah. Deadpool skewered some guys and all the parents were okay, and then Deadpool gets skewered and all of a sudden they're out of the theater.
Yeah. In case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Deadpool got fucked in the ass. Yeah. There we go.
Pegged.
That was a very good analogy, though. Because he did get skewered, though. So that's why I want to draw that distinction. He got skewered and he got skewered.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing that happened.
But yeah, so it's just so funny to me. So funny to me. And if you're one of those parents, I'm sorry, I'm judging you. I am judging you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been judging you since I worked at GameStop, and
oh, fair.
And you were like, yeah, my kid can play Call of Duty as long as there's no titties in it. All right, last thing on my docket here. I wanted to point this out just because I think it's really fucking cool. Do you remember the website thinkgeek.com?
Is that not relevant anymore? What's not relevant? Can we get a list of things that aren't relevant anymore? VHSs aren't relevant anymore. Tumblr isn't relevant anymore. ThinkGeek probably isn't relevant anymore.
Oh, it hasn't.
What is happening to my life?
Apparently, you're a little behind. ThinkGeek a long time ago got bought by GameStop.
Those sons of bitches.
And they
Kim
tried.
Kardashian.
They tried opening ThinkGeek stores.
Oh, did they?
That's
horrible.
It failed hard. So hard. So ThinkGeek,
I don't know why that's so fucking funny to me. It's like, why would you do that?
So the website got shut down and hasn't been available for a very long time. You haven't been able to buy anything from ThinkGeek. For a little while, they were unloading everything that was left over from ThinkGeek on GameStop's websites and in GameStop stores. But yeah, it just doesn't exist as a company anymore. But good news is a bunch of the people who used to work for ThinkGeek before it got bought by GameStop now have a company called Rollicrit. And Rollicrit's first big success was a game called Heroes of Barcadia, which is fucking awesome. You pick a character, that character's represented by a pint glass, you fill it up with a beverage of choice, you go through a dungeon, as you take damage, you drink from your glass, it goes down. It's really cool. All the tiles that make rooms are coasters. It's a really cool game.
What game is this called again?
Heroes of Barcadia.
Okay, thank you.
It's a really cool fucking game. I was actually going to pick up... They had a Gen Con exclusive edition of it, but by the time I had the money to pick it up while I was at Gen Con, they had sold out. So... But a bunch of those guys, they made a product when they worked for ThinkGeek called the Bag of Holding. And
I do remember that. Yep.
The copyright, the license, whatever it was, that GameStop held on that product when they bought ThinkGeek has now expired. So Rollicrit is now bringing back the Bag of Holding with a Kickstarter. And it is a new improved Bag of Holding. There's a bunch of different straps you can get for it. There's now, you can wear it as a messenger bag or as a backpack. It's a really cool bag. And I just think that this company that got bought by this massive corporation, they came back, they started their own thing. They still started making cool shit. And now they get back a product that they came up with a while ago, and they're coming out with a new version of it. And if you need something to carry your TTRPG supplies, you could definitely do fucking worse.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I bought the Bag of Holding when it was originally on thinkgeek.com. I still have it. It's an awesome bag, super durable, way more pockets than you'd think. And I swear the thing has TARDIS capabilities. It's fucking bigger on the inside.
It looks it. I always wanted the original one, but... Mm-hmm. It is always, back then especially, it was out of my price range. So, yeah. I never, but it's worth it though.
Yeah, it is. Is that good of a bag.
Yeah, I'll call it like it is. If I think something's too expensive, I will let you know that it's too expensive. This is out of my price range. It is expensive, but I don't think it's too expensive. I think the price point matches the product that you're getting.
Let me actually pull up the Kickstarter page real quick. And you know what? I'll put these guys, once again, aren't sponsors, but I'm going to put the link to their Kickstarter for this particular product in the description for this episode. The Bag of Holding base tier, the minimum amount you have to donate to the Kickstarter, I shouldn't say donate, the minimum amount you have to pledge to the Kickstarter in order to get a Bag of Holding is $125. And there's a bunch of different add-ons you can do, like different straps with different designs. They've got one that looks like Chewbacca's bandolier. They've got one that looks like a gelatinous cube. They got Velcro straps. They have extra pouches. They have dice. All these different add-ons that you can put on there. Different bag tags, stretch goals, and all kinds of really cool stuff that they're adding on as well. But it's an awesome bag. If you can afford it and you're looking for a bag, go take a look at it.
Absolutely.
So, I've been looking, and at the time of recording, registration for Super MagFest opens in 2 days, this Friday.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to MagFest this year.
Okay.
It's looking pretty awesome. Super MagFest this year, the theme is kind of Metroid. They're calling it Magfest Prime, like Metroid Prime.
Okay. That's cute.
So if anybody's going to Magfest, come check me out in the Discord. Maybe we'll meet up at Magfest.
And I guess I'll say, too, well, crap. As of this recording, I'll have already been there, but hopefully you saw the TikTok. I may even post something on Instagram, but I'll be representing the guild at the Mothman Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there rocking my most relevant T-Villain shirt. I haven't been able to get a Mothman shirt from him, but, you know, it is spooky season, and I've got quite a few spooky season shirts, so I'll be down there rocking that, and hopefully I have people come up and say hi. Again, I can't really advertise because it's already happened, so I'm sure I had fun.
You gonna put that in the Guild Caravan channel over on the Discord as well?
Nah.
Well, you should. Because Discord is where all the fun stuff's happening. I say it in every episode.
Man, I'm gonna feel real dumb if we get in a wreck on the way there and I die. You gotta leave all this in.
Yeah, I absolutely will.
First off, you gotta leave it all in, and you have to post it at the normal time.
Yeah.
I will be angry if you don't.
Yeah, I don't want to be haunted by a vengeful guildmaster spirit.
Yeah, you don't.
All right, and with that, I think we're going to call this the end of an episode. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talking about. And join us over on the Discord. That's where all the fun stuff is happening. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.